Okay, did I miss something? Is there like a Top Gun 2?
No.
Or is this the second Top Gun?
This is the second Top Gun.
Then who the fuck is Penny?
She's just a new character, and you're just supposed to assume that. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Big Feature Film Review.
Why do I always find something to play with?
We're the continuity crew.
I don't even know where that came from.
I'm Will.
I'm Maverick.
That's when, and today we are talking about Top Gun Maverick, and for our Big Feature Film Review, where we talk about what we thought about the movie, our thoughts on all this stuff, and give it a rating 1 out of 10. Critical entertainment. Watch to the end for those. What do you think of Top Gun? I'm interested, actually. I'm actually very interested in Wynn's thoughts, because I went and saw this with my family. They loved it. I went and saw it with the boys. They loved it.
Yeah. We
went and saw it in 4D both times.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's expensive, man.
It's awesome. But
I
I enjoyed it both times. The first time and the second time got very emotional.
Why?
The Val Kilmer stuff, for sure.
Oh, yeah, that was really sad. That was very sad.
I do appreciate he was actually in the movie.
I was very surprised.
I was too.
Yeah.
But Wynn, what do you think about this?
It was Top Gun. What do you expect? Actually, I actually do give this movie high praise.
Yeah.
For the kind of weird surrealism that you have in this movie, where it's like you're in the pilot seat and you feel everything. And it looks very real. And I know some of them are CGI, but I know some of them are also real. Yeah. It's just so weird because, like, I watched the first one first.
Mm-hmm. And then in that one, it's, like, very obviously CGI.
Yeah. You can tell it's all green screen or projection, but whatever. But in the second one, it's like, wow, why? Why did they allow him to do this? And that was a really cool thing they did with the jets. It was very
immersive.
It was immersive, and it was really fun to watch. Yes. Like, I will say, the crew and the people behind this, the production company or whatever, they paid a lot of money for this movie.
Sure.
And it paid off, because I think this was probably the most immersive experience that I've had with a movie.
I would agree. Yeah. I mean, I did go see it in 4D. Yeah. So, like, it was probably one of the best 4D experiences. It was just, I was ready to go after I watched it the first time, the second time. Like, I was ready to go back into it. I want to see it in IMAX, so I don't have a moving seat for once. Yeah. But on that big screen.
Even on IMAX, it was great.
I definitely want to see it again, even at home whenever eventually it comes out. But
you know that immersive feeling that you had with, like, Interstellar, where it's like, the cameras are planted in places where it's like, this is how it would look or whatever. Except that one didn't feel real at all.
Because I mean, it's kind of hard to relate to space. But yeah.
But then you see these jets just flying around. It was really cool. I can see how much in pain the actors were when they were going, like, in these, like, 0Gs, like, or 10G maneuvers or whatever. It was really cool. It was really exciting to watch. I don't know why I don't like Tom Cruise in this.
I get it. Tom Cruise is kind of one of those guys where it's like you either love him or you hate him.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, he's got a punchable face.
I think it's just because, like, he's lost.
Love you.
I think his character is lost in this movie, and I don't think that's like an intentional thing. He's still Tom Cruise from the first movie. Yeah. But in this movie, he just seems so out of place.
Yeah, he's not as cocky but he is. He's got some moments where he's like, oh, that's Maverick, but there's other moments like, who's this sad bitch?
Yeah. He's gone depressed. He's like, he's like the teenagers nowadays.
And I guess it kind of makes sense. He's gotten old.
He has.
And he's lost Goose. I get it, but it's also like
and I don't like the conflict that he had with his son. But it's against the grain or whatever they called it, and at least it's not the most basic thing where it's like, I gotta train you, I gotta be your mentor. I did like or
the
whatever
plot stuff they did with that, like his mother told him to do it and stuff like that. That was really cool.
They kept it Top Gun, like in the original one, where it's like there's really no plot.
Nothing really happens, but we get some sick jet stuff, and that's all I really wanted, so it kind of worked. I also have some really high praise for this movie. I think this is one of the most feel-good movies I've seen in a very long time. I feel like it's something that
it's weirdly positive.
Yeah, like it just felt like I was like, this is the type of movie that's going to bring people back into theaters. It's going to make people feel better about kind of the state of the world. I'm like, that's what cinema is for. That's what movie theaters are for. And I love that. I'm so happy about that. And it's had the biggest Memorial Day weekend opening ever. So that's super cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Another thing about just it being really positive, I liked, and China thinks differently because there was a Taiwanese flag or whatever in the movie and they're not showing it. But I liked how there were, like the first one, we don't know who the bad guys are. You can kind of deduce who it is apparently. But I like that you just don't really know. It's like you're just fighting the bad guys. It's fun. So I really enjoyed that.
Maybe we could go all like smart ass on this. So I think
apparently somebody did. It's either Iran or North Korea.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
that makes a whole lot of sense actually.
But either way,
if you think about it, because it is an outdated helicopter, but they have a new Gen 5 jet, but it doesn't seem all that good. So yeah, kind of makes sense. They had on an old like M14 or F-14 jet. You know, it makes sense. You want to hear the negatives?
Yeah, I'd love to hear the negatives.
I hated the part where it was like the romance between Jennifer Connelly and Tom Cruise.
I was hoping for some 4D action going on there.
Yeah, you just sit in the seats.
Whoa!
You're like Connelly.
And then the water sprays out at you.
Oh, no. Which one is it? Is there squirt or is it her?
Who knows?
No,
that's for you to decide.
I hated that so much. It was like stuck in the 80s.
It was. And I feel like that's just how movies are. It's got to have its romance.
No, it's just so out of place. It's not even about the romance. It's about how out of place it was, because it was like, this is how the sequence began, right? It's Tom Cruise dropping her off at her house. She walks into her house. She leaves the door open. And like, as like, you know, you get the hint that he's supposed to go inside. But then like she lays down and like in this like slow motion sequence, and he comes up and it's like,
the sex scene is very weird because it's like, well, it doesn't even feel like they had sex.
No, it doesn't.
But it's like, they maybe just spooned a little bit. They're a little too old for it anyway.
The romance and the kid, or the little kid, like
I get that,
didn't make
like,
sense
discrepancy. But it's like, it's been 30 years since the original romance. There's stuff has happened. He's met a new girl, and it doesn't really necessarily break the continuity of it.
The thing about this movie is just like it's a movie. It's not a film. You know, it's on par with like the Star Wars at the time, or Back to the Future, where it's like you're there for a spectacle and you're not there for the technical issues with it. You're there to watch jets. Yeah. And Tom Cruise flying a jet, and you get to see it. It's really cool how they did it, and I watched the behind the scenes for it, and it's insane. Like it's incomparable to any other flying sequences. No, the way. I'm glad that Tom Cruise said something about it where he was like, I really wanted it to feel this way, and I really wanted it to be the integral part of the movie, and he did it right, and I think he did a good job along with his director and writers. Yeah. Well, not the writers, but you know.
Yeah, it just still felt like they were reliving the 80s. You
know? Yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, it's a sequel 30 years later or whatever. So speaking of ratings, let's get to ours.
Are you gonna get IMDb Pro?
No.
What is that even?
Here on Continuity Crew Big Feature Film Review, we do two different ratings, critical and entertainment, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What's your critical rating for Top Gun Maverick?
5.
Fair enough.
Because there's no story. It's just Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise.
I would resound the sentiment, but I'm going to give it a 6.
Speak to me, Goose.
Talk to me, Goose. Okay.
Or it's Talk to Me. My bad.
And then Miles.
I haven't seen Talk.
Then Miles Teller says, "Talk to me, Dad," and I'm like, "Oh, manly tear." Entertainment.
It's weird that he actually does look like him.
Oh, I know.
Entertainment. I was very entertained, so I'm gonna give it a 9.
A 9.
Yeah, it was a fun watch. It was a good time just to see the jets. I'm a big fan of jets, not the team. I mean, fighter jets. My favorite is an F-22 Raptor by Boeing. It's a really fast jet.
That one was too believable. I'm going to give it a 10 for my entertainment value. I saw it twice in one night, and I loved every second of both viewing. I saw it in 4D. Loved it to death. Anyways, thank y'all. Thank y'all for watching. We're the Continuity Crew. I'm Will.
I'm Tom.
That's when. Thank you for watching another.
How's Tom nowadays?
Thank y'all for watching the Big Feature Film Review. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. He's great.
Who, Tom?
Which one? The cat or my stepfather?
Your stepdad.
He's good.
Okay.